I'm then going to move on to cons. Again, like I said, I was going to talk about the art. And again, like I said, I liked it, but I mentioned that it's sort of 70s style. And that's my con, is that, again, this is another example of yet another comic that is sort of copying the 70s style of comic art. And I, for one, I am sick of it. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. And I'm sick and tired of feeling like these comic publishers shoving the 70s style art down my throat. Oh, look how awesome the 70s style is. Look how awesome the 70s style is. Look how awesome the 70s style. I'm sick of it. You know what? I'm sorry. I like Amanda Conner, which brings up the point. We had Amanda Conner do the cover. We couldn't get Amanda Conner to draw this book, this series. I mean, I have no issues with Javier Pluto, or Pluto. Again, I'm going to continuously screw that name up. But, I mean, we could have had Amanda frickin' Conner, the best comic book artist in the industry today, drawing this book. And yeah, I just said that, and I really do mean it. She is the best comic book artist in the industry today. And we could have had her drawing this book. I would have loved to see what she would have done with this story. And yet we have another instance of Marvel. I mean, not that DC doesn't do it, because DC does it too, along with other comic book publishers, shoving the 70s style art down my throat. I'm sorry. I like Steve McNivens. I like Gardner. I like Amanda Conner. I love the Dobsons. You know, I want to see not only realistic, but sort of, again, art like what Amanda Conner does, like what the Dobsons do. You know, that's, this age is art, and I want to see that. I felt that the story was way too short. For $3.99, I thought it'd get more story. I mean, obviously, it was cut off for the preview for the Grim Hunt, which, again, another con is I really didn't like that, but I'll get to that in a second. But the story did feel short, and I didn't feel like I got my $3.99 worth as far as the length of the story. I mean, it was a good story, I enjoyed it, but I feel as far as length that I didn't get it what I felt $3.99 I should have gotten. And for that reason also, it does sort of feel rushed. And that's mostly, again, because of a shorter page count. I'm sorry. But, and again, like I just said, the sort of the preview for the Grim Hunt, you know, I would have liked to see, I mean, if they're going to do the story that short and have something in the back, I would have rather it been something about Black Cat and talking about the history, which is, again, another con. Outside of maybe the sort of the opening splash page on page 1, where they have all the credits and stuff, that's really the only information you have about Black Cat. And just to read it, Black Cat, a.k.a. Felicia Hardy, is a sexy superhuman with the abilities to bring bad fortunes to anyone in her vicinity, even though they never showed her bad luck powers in the story whatsoever, which to me is a continuity mistake, but I'll get to that in a second. Like her father, Walter Hardy, a.k.a. the Cat, she's a master breaker, extremely agile, but Felicia's misties never extend past theory. In fact, she often employs her feline skills to help Spider-Man, a friend whom she shares a romantic and crime-fighting past. Now their paths are crossed again, and a strictly mask-on physical relationship that has developed. Felicia also is working for the mayor's office as Jameson's head of investigations, which I'm still waiting for somebody to show me the issue in which that happens. But that's besides the point. Yeah, and that's, again, my final con is there's just continuity mistake as far as her bad luck powers. Because, you know, with 606, 607, she had her bad luck powers again, and in the past issue of Shed, and in this one we haven't seen them. Again, I'd like to see, I mean, unless her breaking the Fabergé egg and then really switching them out somewhere where we didn't see is that, it just doesn't make any sense. So, overall, that's it for the con. My if is Spider-Man. Because in this issue, he acts like a complete douchebag. This has been a common theme where in Amazing Spider-Man, this is the only part where I'll talk about it, where he does act like just a absolute complete douchebag a lot of times, and he doesn't. And the reason I'm saying is if by the end of this series he does something to make it up to Felicia and they're back together to, I mean, at the very least to their current relationship status, then it was good because it creates conflict, it creates drama between those two characters. But if nothing comes of it, it just, again, it makes the character look like a douchebag. And again, I don't want to follow a Spider-Man that is a complete douchebag. I have these people who are, oh, we love the way Peter Parker's acting. Really? You love a Spider-Man that acts like a complete douchebag? First, not only does it not make him seem like a hero, how does that make him seem like the everyday man? Are you saying that every person in this country is a complete douchebag? I don't know. I don't follow Spider-Man because he's a douchebag. I follow Spider-Man because he's a hero. And the everyday man type of thing, it's just a connection I had to him, but it's not the reason I read him. And more importantly, that everyday man connection is not because he acts like a douche. It's one thing for somebody to have bad luck. It's another thing for somebody to have, or should I say, to act like a complete douche and always be screwing up with or without him having bad luck. But, again, that's my if. So, by the end of this series, if certain things happen with that sort of characterization and that sort of storyline goes somewhere, then it'll be a pro. If it doesn't, it's a con. So that's why it's an F. Overall, I very much enjoyed this issue. There are some issues, but they're small and minor. So I give this 4 out of 5 webs. So check back with me next month for issue number 2. Until then, Spider-Man fans, Excelsior!